there's a lot
I
of
can
cables, a lot of
I can
places.
see from your wall you do a lot of LSD. Is that correct?
Oh, you're
Do our
damn.
fair share.
I'm telling you what. We hit our first show on LSD when we were about 18 years old, and it was so epic that we did the whole year on LSD. And it was just over 100 shows. And that was 15 years ago, so we've learned a lot. And I you know all about psychedelics.
Well, I could tell from your wall, dude. That's no one puts a wall together like that doesn't do LSD. I'm just saying.
Very true. Very true. So how are things going for you? I see that you've recently relocated.
Not recently, but we've been underground for 7 months ever since we got out of jail in the Dominican Republic. Um, we were on the run for 7 months and having fun. Went to the Bahamas and we were sunbathing on the beach, making videos, posting them on Twitter, and putting our thumbs to our noses.
Haha, yeah.
Um, but they came after us there. We went to Cuba. The Cuban government called us in. We'd only been there 2 months. Called us in and said the United States had unofficially requested that they return us to the states. Cuba just said no, but they did give us. But they did say you have 72 hours to get out of our country and never come back. You are an embarrassment to us now. So we left, went to the Dominican Republic. The soldiers were on the dock waiting for us as we pulled in. We were instantly arrested. And the Dominican Republic said the same thing. You have to go back to America, except they were going to send us back. Cuba just said no. Uh, my lawyers managed to waylay that, and we ended up going to London, where we went underground. We've been underground now for 8 months. Is that right, babe? 8 months.
Well, I
Hey,
watch your
do you mind if
your.
I get do you mind if I get Janice in on this because
Please do
the
bring
time
her
for
in.
guys that don't wouldn't give a shit. Come on,
Yeah, Mrs. McAfee. Let's go. Come on, bring her
come on,
in.
babe.
Where would you be without her? Come on.
No, that'd be nowhere. I tell you now.
I got some questions. I
Well,
got some questions for Mrs.
hello.
McAfee. Hello,
Hello.
He
how are
just looks
you?
like Luke.
Here, I'll show you the other guys. We have a ton of
Hi, there,
cameras.
guys.
We have a ton of
Hello.
cameras, so let me just switch around the room real quick and see what we can do. There's Ralph. Ralph's the drummer.
How's it going?
Hello, Ralph.
Hey, Ralph, you look like a drummer.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. And what do we got here? That's Buddha. He's the bass player.
What's going on?
Oh, you look like a booter.
Yeah,
All
actually, I wouldn't. I
right.
wouldn't. A lot of bass players are kind of skinny. Um, I would have.
That's their
I
loss,
would have
bud.
placed you with a trumpet, but whatever.
I played trumpet, and that's how we met. Actually, is me and Jay
Really?
met playing trumpet in middle school.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
awesome. Okay.
We've been playing together
Listen,
ever
the
since.
trumpet can be an awesome fucking instrument
I know.
if played by the right lips. Jesus, I mean, it can be as sweet as a saxophone.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we actually did our new album, and we have sax, trumpets. The trumpet is what really brought it together.
Mm-hmm.
It's just crazy. The guy who played trumpet on the album was incredible.
Absolutely.
And you're a piano player.
Yeah, not much of one. I've never taken lessons. I just bought a piano about 30 years ago, just for the hell of it.
Hey,
And just started banging on it. So I can't read music. I don't know shit about music.
we don't
Same.
either. Yeah.
we're all self-taught. We just grew up doing it together.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I got questions.
So anyway, so in the Dominican Republic, we've been at sea for 4.5 fucking days. Why don't you describe how bad that was?
Well, that was rough because we had our dogs, our four dogs.
Four large dogs and 9 people on a boat.
And everyone got sick except
Four
for
and
me
a
and
half
John.
fucking days
Yeah.
in a storm.
Yeah, it was bad.
Oh my God.
And then we pulled in.
Yeah, and then when we pulled into the Dominican Republic, they were there waiting for us, and so they had soldiers strategically placed on each of the docks that they had emptied out, and they had moved all of the boats that were there at the harbor off to one side, so they're kind of all crowded together.
So that if the shooting started, no one's going to get hurt except for us or the soldiers. Now,
Yeah.
keep in mind, we do have a rep. International,
just a
right?
little
So
one.
just a little. And we have been known to, I don't know, the next to the last house we had, I'd probably put 100 bullet holes through walls and ceilings.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, that was in Tennessee.
that
Yeah,
was in Tennessee. So, we're trigger happy, no question. In any case,
he's trigger happy.
Yes.
but in any case, yeah. So they were waiting for us. God damn it! If you're looking for a jail, listen, I've been in jails in Mexico, America, Guatemala, Belize, all over the fucking world. If you're looking for a jail experience, do not start with the Dominican
No.
Republic. I mean, Janice has been in jails
Yes, I have many jails.
many
I
times,
do not recommend
and listen,
any jail outside of the
you
U.S.
you have
Jail
got to
sucks.
be a jail fucking connoisseur to survive that jail. I'm telling you now.
Oh
Um,
man.
so no, I mean, no fucking running water, no glass in the windows. I mean, just rusted iron bars.
Yep.
Mosquitoes so thick you could eat them. No fans, no air conditioning, no nothing. I mean, fuck me. Um,
That's terrible.
it
Jail
was an
sucks.
ugly place. Concrete floors.
Yeah.
No,
So what's it like being on the run with Mr. McAfee, Janice?
An adventure for sure.
So you're having
For
you're
sure.
at least having a good time.
Yeah, you know what? He gives good time. He gives really good time.
yeah,
So,
that is one thing. I don't give much, but I do give good time. I mean, if
Well,
you hang with me, I don't care who you are. Now listen, we may go through some rough periods,
yeah.
but as long as they trust me, like I always keep telling them, trust me, I'm going to get us out of this. I always do. Um, so yeah, it's been an adventure for me.
Yeah,
What else, baby?
for me also, it's been stressful for sure. Um, just because not being able to have, I guess, sort of the things that you're accustomed to, in life, In and Out Burger, let's say McDonald's, you know what I mean? Like little
yeah.
things,
Yes,
decent weed,
Starbucks even.
decent
Fuck me.
weed
Oh yeah.
regularly. Yeah,
Oh,
I mean, these are things that you miss, but also my family, my kids, of course. But outside of that, it's I don't know, it's tolerable. You just it's life. Sometimes life throws you a shit sandwich, and
It's
you do what
inconvenient
you
at
have to do.
times. We cannot have telephones, for example.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
We'll never be able to have a telephone. If we had a phone, we would be collected instantly. I mean, that's how they can. That's
So
how they locate you,
so
right?
right.
what is it that they're what are they after you for now? What does the US want with you?
All right. So now I haven't paid taxes in 10 years, and I'll never pay taxes again because they're unconstitutional and illegal.
That's right.
Plus, I've already paid $50 million in taxes, and I have not received $50 million in services. I just stopped paying them. And every year, I send a letter to the IRS saying I'm not filing a return, where I live. For 8 years, it didn't bother me. I mean, listen, I've already paid more money than God. So, however, 2 years ago, I started speaking on stages around the world saying, listen, people, if you don't want to pay taxes, the way to avoid them is to use privacy coins and distributed exchanges. And that sent a red flag because that risks the revenues of the U.S. and actually all world governments, which is why most are cooperating with them and trying to collect this. In any case, um, so they filed on January 22nd of last year. They convened a grand jury. Now, grand juries are supposed to be secret. I don't know if you know much about them. Only the prosecutor gets to present evidence. The defense does not even know that it's happening. It's a secret. Why? Because people tend to run.
Yeah.
Because grand juries convict 100% of the time. It's an archaic. There are only two countries in the world that have grand juries. One is America. The other is Libya. Everybody else has abandoned that barbaric practice. But in any case, since I'm John McAfee, I found out about it a week in advance, and we hopped on our yacht with our staff and sailed away.
The Great Escape.
Well, fuck
Yes,
me.
the great escape on the Freedom
Listen,
Boat.
I'm 74. I'm not going to spend the rest of my life in a fucking prison. Um, where no one will ever hear my voice again, and I'll never get to see the light of day. No, it's not interesting to me. So in any case, we left, and the government literally chased us from the Bahamas to Cuba to the Dominican Republic. We just barely squeaked out using trickery of mine, which I use constantly. You want to explain that?
Well, just sort of outthinking them and the situation,
Well, no,
and a
for
little bit of
example,
faking,
faking
faked
the
a
stroke
stroke.
in the immigration office
Yeah,
to buy
that was
to buy
necessary.
time.
Yeah, to
No,
buy
so
time.
here's what happened. They didn't even tell us, okay, when or what until the fourth day. They took us out of jail. God, how fucking anyway, took us out of jail.
And that's when they finally told us that we
We
had
went to
been
the
arrested or
immigration office
whatever.
and they said, you're now being shipped back to
Yeah.
America. And I go, what the fuck? I had my 2 lawyers there. They would not let me see them until that moment. Now that we're with officialdom, they have to let me see my lawyers.
Yes.
So I'm in the head of immigrations with my 2 lawyers, and they go, well, you have to go back to America, Mr. Franklin. And I go, but I came from Cuba. You cannot legally send me back. He said, well, it's very, very, very complicated in Spanish. Es muy, muy complicado, señor. Es necesario. I go, no, it's not. But anyway, so they were about to ship us off.
Yeah.
So I leaned over, whispered to my lawyers there, and I says, listen, I want you to leave immediately. I want you to file with the courts a brief demanding that I have my say in court before they do anything to me. Because I knew the court would have to accept it. Why fuck up? We were the top of the news all over the world.
They put us there because they were kind of preempting the situation.
They did everything illegally. This is just a ruse for America to grab us, right? So, so in any case, I said, file a brief. And they said, well, that's going to take 2 hours. I go, 2 hours. Okay, I'll give you 2 hours. Even though they were immediately going to ship us off. So one last thing that we were doing is I had $83,000 in cash on me when I was arrested. I demanded a receipt. They were giving it back to us before we left. So we were in a room counting the cash. And I'd gone into Janice and said, I got this. Whatever happens,
don't worry.
Don't worry. So I went in there while they were counting the money. I fell on my face in convulsions.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
okay, but wait, so it's so funny because he couldn't see this part. So literally everybody that worked in the immigration office were looking at him like, this is bullshit.
I know. They
just
were all
give it a second. He'll get up in a minute. This is fucking, because everyone knew about him faking the heart attack in Belize.
Yeah, faked a heart attack in Belize 8 years ago to get out of the same situation. I needed time for my lawyers to file a brief. All right, so and it worked in Belize. In Guatemala. I'm sorry, I was in Guatemala. I was in prison in Guatemala.
Sorry,
right? So they were about to ship me back to Belize, right, where I would have been instantly executed. So it was important then. It's important now too. In any case, it's well known that I did shit like this. Well, anyway, so I was.
It was so funny because they were like dragging their ass to get a doctor. Look, we got a doctor in here. Like, get this man a doctor because he's whatever's going on.
However, I played it to the hilt.
Yes, he did.
When I finally came to and opened my eyes, I looked around and I didn't recognize anybody. I didn't recognize my wife. I didn't recognize my staff. I didn't even recognize the head of immigration, whose office I was just sitting in. And when people approach me, I'm on the floor on my butt, and I'm scooting back against the wall going, stay away, stay away, stay away, help, help.
Who are you people?
So now,
who are you people?
They can't possibly, in that situation, put me on a goddamn airplane, can they? So they took me to a hospital. No, they took Janice to the airplane.
Yeah, they took me to the airplane.
You're going anyway, bitch.
Yeah,
that was their attitude.
Yes, it was.
However, I knew one thing. I had played it well enough to fool the one doctor that was there. Now, he was looking at me so goddamn skeptically, and yet after a while he nods and he says, get an ambulance. Okay. So now I've won. Yeah. I know. I played it so well that I might just die at any moment from a burst blood vessel in my brain. And what's that going to look like internationally? John McAfee dies mysteriously in custody his wife, who is his nurse, is shipped off on the plane. No, come on, that doesn't look good. So they grabbed Janice
Yeah, they got
just
me
as
back.
they were about to put her
Mhm.
on the plane, took her to the
Ooh.
hospital where I was. Now,
Yes.
at the hospital, I had to fool the goddamn doctors in the hospital. That's much easier, right? I mean, they got fucking procedures in hospitals. Once they check your ass in, they got to do a bunch of procedures. And doesn't matter what the doctors think, right?
Yeah.
All right, do an MRI, do all of this shit. And by the time that shit was over and the doctor came and says, I can't find anything wrong with you, the lawyers came in waving a piece of paper.
Yes. Victory.
So then
Yes.
it wasn't 5 minutes before the head of immigration comes back and says, Mr. McAfee, you said you wanted to go to England. We're sending you to
Yeah.
England. Why? Because had it gone to court, I mean, we had videos of them refusing to let me talk to customs and then charging me with failure to declare our weapons to
Mhm.
customs. All right. So now that would have unraveled everything. So in any case, we ended up in England. In England, we went underground. We have no phones. We're talking on a very insecure line here. I don't give a shit. Everything on the internet is insecure. The one thing that I do have secured is my location. And the best hacker in the fucking world cannot find me on the internet. Right?
You're
So,
goddamn right.
so now, well, for the first 4 months we were here, we only communicated from a Faraday cage.
Yeah.
All right. And we had a special room that no signals could enter or leave. End of story. Everything was a hard line from our Faraday cage to another country. Now, this is not something that you can't download Nord on Google, for example, and pay $79 a year and get the same sort of security.
Yeah.
We have signal jammers. I mean, trust me, you can't find me, and that's all I care about.
Well, you
I don't
can't
care
trust
if you're
anything.
eavesdropping because people are eavesdropping on everybody. If you have
Yeah.
a smartphone, you got no privacy.
That's what I'm saying. You're
Anyway,
carrying the
I'm sorry.
device around that's scanning
Yes.
it's scanning everything around you, listening to everybody, monitoring your in and out,
Yeah.
and going in
Yeah.
out. And then you have, apps like TikTok that are
Yeah.
just
Yes.
funnels for the
And here's the
Chinese
thing:
government.
if you cannot locate me, you cannot stop me from communicating. If they somehow manage to infiltrate Zoom and say McAfee's not allowed, I'll move to Skype. I mean, there are hundreds. There's no way to stop me from talking now,
That's true.
as long as we're never found.
You had your little lab where you were making experimental things down there, and it's like, what are those drugs like?
Well, actually, believe it or not, they were all antibiotics. I swear to God. Listen, nobody in their right mind goes to Central America and manufactures drugs in the heart of the Sinaloa cartel that controls all the drug trade. Imagine it. I mean, the first person that even heard of it they would go to the local Sinaloa boss and go, Jefe, el gringo, el hace drogas. But wait, my life expectancy would be measured in minutes, and its end would be horrific. So no one's stupid enough to do that. However, they don't give a shit if you do antibiotics, which is what I was doing. And I had some massive things based on a new science called quorum sensing, and that's the science of. Up until 10 years ago, people did not know the bacteria communicated with each other. They thought there was a stupid little no, they communicate. And they communicate through a thing called quorum sensing. Different bacteria emit different chemical signals. And for example, if you got staph infection on your skin, listen, this is going to take forever to talk about that. Fuck that.
No, but it's interesting though.
Yeah, but honey, it's going to take
Okay,
15
well,
minutes to explain.
all right. Well,
This
give
is
them the
not
Cliff
this is
Notes
not this is not a
version.
type of drug which anybody's really interested in, especially since they destroyed my lab and all my samples and my research. So fuck that. Anyway, here we are.
So what was it that got you first involved into the whole cryptocurrency thing? What was it that brought it across your whole board?
Anyway, I've had literally thousands of people who've worked for me over the years. Like McAfee, there was 5,000 people when I left. the cream of the cream of the crop I always kept in touch with, and one was a guy named Jim Zaromsky, who's worked for me 5 times in 5 different companies, starting at McAfee. And he came down to Belize when I was down there, specifically to force me to read the Bitcoin white paper, which I did. And I instantly saw the promise, not of Bitcoin, but of blockchain technologies and how it, because Bitcoin's as crude as you can fucking get. It's got no privacy. You can't put smart contracts on it. It's got no distributed applications. It's slow. No, it's going to go away. However, the door that it opened has spawned an entire new field of technology. Blockchain-based applications. For example, they're putting unstoppable domains on the blockchain now. I don't know if you've heard of that. So if you're worried about the government taking their domain away from you, put one on the fucking blockchain. Unless you're tortured and forced to give up your seed keys, no one can ever take it away from you.
Yeah.
Now, to me, that is human progress. It gives people more control over their lives rather than government controlling everything. And the government does control everything, whether you like it or not, or whether you believe it or not. If you think you're free in America without having financial freedom, and as long as you have to use the U.S. dollars, you have no financial freedom. You don't own those fucking dollars. You understand? They're owned by the Fed. And the Fed can do what it just did. We're going to add $2 trillion to it, which is going to make your dollar worth half as much as it was, right? So you have no control. But yes, so the blockchain gives people the opportunity to free themselves from government control, from regulations, from corrupt officials. And with privacy coins like Monero and the Ghost coin, which I am releasing in June, we just put out our first notice on it. The website, our white paper is coming out 15th of May. It's a new blockchain. It's a serious privacy, and it's instead of a proof of work, it's proof of stake. Why did I choose proof of stake? Good God, proof of work is using up more electricity than the entire country of Denmark. Please God, people, it is not sustainable. You know this.
That's
and
right.
with a tiny fraction of people that are now using crypto, if we want full adoption, we'll be using more electricity than America and Russia combined. It just can't work.
Right.
Get used to that idea.
I mean, it's just like right now you have this whole issue with these stimulus checks that could have been paid like that, via the blockchain.
Listen, you're not going to get those stimulus checks except a very small fraction of the people it was promised to.
Oh, we're not getting it.
Already, if you don't have direct deposit, well, I'm sorry. You
5
have to wait
months.
for a few months.
Yeah.
Right, 5 months to get a check. Well, in 5 months, the dollar's going to be worth 3 cents. So,
Right.
No, seriously, what we've done with coronavirus is destroy the world economy. And people go, oh, coronavirus has cost 17 million jobs in America. No. Did the coronavirus fire those people? No. Our stupid reaction to it lost those jobs. I mean, if we just call a spade, the world would be a better place.
Well, yeah, I mean, I would say with this whole thing that's going on, it's definitely, and all the things that have happened leading up to this, it's definitely suspicious. There's a lot going on behind the scenes.
I'm sorry, baby.
Sorry, it's okay.
Hang on. I've lost my ear.
Here.
Is this it?
No.
I hate these fucking things. However, I hate the headphones even worse. And just because of, I can't have a speaker because my microphone is just like yours, a very expensive motherfucker, and will pick up a pin drop in the corner. So, in any case, back to where was I? Oh, here's the issue. We have time for one more question. My apologies.
No, you're fine.
However,
you're fine.
You guys seem to be halfway decent folks. So put them on the list. If you ever want to talk to me again, just contact Janice.
Yeah,
right?
definitely.
Awesome.
We'd definitely love to follow
So
up.
one more question, guys, if you have a question.
Well, I mean, I guess just Okay, there's one serious question and then one real quick question we got to ask you because we ask everybody. But let's say, what do you think is going on right now with this coronavirus? What's the agenda? You know, there's
I
definitely
have no
more.
clue. Listen, everything that I might say about it is pure speculation. I do know this: it's not real. I mean, the virus is real, of course, and it has killed 100,000 people. But do you know what that means? 100,000 people, the world population is 2 people per 100,000 people in the population. And we shut the world down for that? See, the mainstream, okay, I do know this much. If there's a beneficiary, it's the mainstream media. Why?
Right. Yeah.
We are all locked in our homes watching. Because what's the value of a station or a show? The number of eyeballs times the time that people spend watching it. Well, the time we spend watching it has tripled. Why? Normally 8 hours a day, well, more than that, because we get up in the morning and have to brush our teeth, eat, commute to work, come home. We're not watching TV, are we? And weekends, shit, we're off doing things, you know, fucking our girlfriends or going partying or something. But no, we're home now, so we're watching the fucking TV. So
Right.
they're the beneficiary. Bill Gates is the beneficiary. Were they involved in this? Well, the media certainly. Why? They sensationalized it. Here's all medical professionals will tell you the same thing. The mortality rate of infectious diseases is always measured in deaths per 100,000 population, right? That way you can get a scale. Okay, so the flu, for example, kills 12 people per 100,000 populations every year. The coronavirus has only killed 2, and we wouldn't even think about doing anything for the flu, like locking down the world for what, 12 people per 100,000? No. So that's why it's per 100,000. But instead, the news goes, oh my God, 50,000 people have died, or 7,000 died in New York. Why don't you run the numbers, people? Population is 20 million fucking people. So
Yeah.
why don't we do what everybody else does? Instead of going, oh my God, 1,000 people died, you might go, well, you know, the rate of death of this thing is really insignificant at 2 people per 100,000 worldwide. That's the truth of it, people. That's what I know. Why this has occurred? Fuck me. It's all speculation,
You're damn right.
right? And what's your other question?
Okay, so the question we ask everybody: what do you think about Bigfoot? Bigfoot real? Both of you. We want to know.
With all your journeys, have you seen Bigfoot? Have you
What's-
come across Bigfoot?
Yes, have you seen Bigfoot in Colorado?
Well, here's the thing about Bigfoot. I think, number one, that species is antisocial. They are refusing to accept the modernization of the world. You know, I think they have some religion which keeps them in the caves, and they refuse to accept automobiles and electricity and all of this shit. So I say, fuck them. I mean, that's it. Fuck them.
Fuck Bigfoot. Oh, that's awesome. Cool. Great response. All right. Well, thanks. Great answer. Best answer so far. But thanks for taking the time and joining us.
And if you ever want to do this again, I mean, not tomorrow, but you know,
Oh, it'll be a while.
in a few weeks,
Yeah.
contact Janice.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So we're about a month behind in scheduling. So if you want to get on,
That's right.
you can't get on before a month because we're full up.
That's
But
fine.
yeah, we do this with maybe 1 out of 25
Yeah.
podcasts.
Awesome.
Just because I had fun talking to you,
Cool.
and mostly I don't. So
Sweet.
this is good.
Bravo. We did
Okay.
good. We did good.
All right, I gotta
Yes,
leave.
you
I gotta
did
leave,
great.
guys. Talk
All
to
right.
you later.
All right.
Yep. Peace out.
All right. Thank
Bye,
you.
Janice.
Bye, Janice.
Bye bye.
That's so cool.